Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So over the last couple days, we have been witnessing some pretty negative price action throughout the market, which is to be expected as we do lead into April 2nd. But one thing that I have been focused on is projects like Hedera. Now you might be saying, all right, well, Nick, HBAR is falling off a cliff. The price action's terrible, this, that, whatever. And yes, I understand this. And yes, we do care about price action, but it's not the biggest thing that I'm focused on right now. In fact, what I am focused on is projects like Hedera that continue to expand, continue to make moves, because when the market stabilizes completely and we start to have a new uptrend begin, they will explode. Now, let's actually talk about that, because the moves being made by Hedera right now are very, very significant. Let's start off with a wallet integration, which was HBAR is now available in Wallet, and this is actually from Telegram. They have 1 billion monthly active users that now have access to buy, sell, and even hold HBAR. This is very exciting because, again, we see HBAR in terms of the trade opportunity, right? The exposure to HBAR is increasing rapidly through a lot of the wallet integrations, the exchange listings. I'm very excited about this, and I think that this is great. But on top of this, it's not just about, the market for HBAR expanding. We've also been seeing DeFi expand rapidly. Big shout out to Zepsi. Hedera USDC is up 74% this week. Still a long way to go, but great to see the DeFi momentum picking up. Now, this got posted on the 26th, 72 hours later. And well, guess what? We could see that stablecoins on Hedera are over 74 million now. We could see USDC being, it's 99.61% of that. So in 3 days, we went from 58.4 million roughly to over 70 million. In fact, it's 74.47 million. This is extremely bullish. This means that we are starting to see a lot more DeFi usage of Hedera, but most people wouldn't notice it because, again, what are we focused on here? We're focused on the price action. And don't get me wrong, yeah, we need to focus on the price action, obviously, because right now most of the market is selling off, but it is to be expected with the tariff talks and discussions. Until they cool off, we probably bleed out a little bit more. But it's not going to kill my sentiment because we continue to see the growth behind the scenes, which will eventually lead to very significant price action. Now, talking about that, another HBAR variant in this space was addressing the same exact thing. And this is actually coming from Mark Chadwick X. When the market stabilizes, HBAR is going ballistic. So many major developments and accounts are skyrocketing. And yes, I completely agree. This post here from Head Over HBAR is a perfect representation of what's happening on Hedera during this time where everyone is only focused on the negative price action. We have 5% of Hedera's 8 million accounts were created in the last 30 days. That looks like adoption. And yes, Hedera is starting to grow rapidly. I've been saying this because even if you look at the HBAR Foundation, right, 130,000 plus followers. Guys, they started back in 2021. Okay? And by the way, with USDC being adopted as heavy as it is, it's because it's starting to grow a market around USDC as well with like Binance. I believe it was Coinbase as well. I might be wrong on that, but I believe Coinbase also did launch USDC on Hedera and enable it, or it might have been crypto.com. But on top of that, right, Hedera's main account has also been growing significantly. So let's think about this, right? The HBAR Foundation, 130,000 followers, and Hedera at over 430,000 plus followers. The community around Hedera is on fire. And you can see that through the engagement. And by the way, so many major media announcements and community engagement events. That's all what's leading this. You have so many big events for Hedera, so many community engagement, things like spaces, and you have a lot of those like daily drops on their YouTube channel as well. The overall social outreach for Hedera is just insane. But let's not just stop there, right? Let's talk about what Hedera is doing for this entire space with some of the biggest names out there, like the DeRec Alliance. Recently, the DeRec Alliance posted this. Blockworks DAS 2025 last week was amazing. Now, this is from Stacy Warden. We have her fireside chat on the DeRec Alliance was great. Below, she discusses the DeRec Alliance. And this is actually from the Algorand Foundation as well. Because again, the DeRec Alliance includes many big players like Algorand, Hedera, Cardano, Ripple, Hashgraph, Input Output, and even XRP Labs and other players as well. But check this out.
Friendly, Web3 environment, self-custody environment, and we will find things in between. So we're a proud member of the DeRec Alliance with Cardano and Hedera and a number of others, where we're it's a little bit not quite custodial, and it's a little bit like not quite your, not your keys, not your coin, but we share keys, and it's a kind of a multi-sig approach. It's pretty interesting. So the industry keeps coming up with these new innovations. Friendly.
And yeah, I mean, listen, DeRec Alliance is a huge innovation actually, because if we are going to achieve mass adoption, we need a simple, secure, and decentralized way of recovering digital assets that, could be lost. There's so much money in this space that is inaccessible because of, loss of, for example, the secret passphrases, or, just some sort of major mistake, forgetting passwords, things like that. So much money. So much money. I'm sure that you guys know back in 2021, there's an individual that was hiring people to try to crack his passphrase. He was paying people a significant amount of money as well if they could crack it. And it was because his Bitcoin at the time, I think it was maybe worth over like $100 and some million, maybe even 200 some million dollars. Like, this is a big issue. Now, talking more so about this, we also saw Lehman Baird talking about the DeRec Alliance. And we have here, trust has always been at the core of Hedera. One way we are delivering this is through DeRec Alliance, which ensures secure recovery of keys, wallets, identities, and passwords without compromising decentralization. And this is why I truly do believe that Hedera is a core piece of the Web3 revolution. They are a big enabler of it, which is why Hedera is a blue chip already in my mind.
Hedera's community here is building trust in ways that we just don't see other places. And this is our purpose, is to build trust. And I mentioned one of those ways is DeRec, decentralized recovery. We have to have this. In every area of our life, we have safety nets. If you lose your password to your bank account, I guarantee you can get access to your money someday. Maybe you go through the recovery process. Worst case, you walk into the bank and have to do something. Maybe you even have to go to the court system. But you will eventually get back to your money. If you lock yourself out of your car, there are locksmiths that can come get you in. If you lock yourself out of your house, worst case, you can put a brick through the window and get back in. But there is always some kind of safety net. And now, as we bring the Web3 world, this DLT world, out to the real world, the rest of the planet, they're expecting to have a safety net. And I get emails that say, hey, I lost my 24 words. Could you please generate another 24 for me so I can get my stuff? Yeah, about that. See, this is the problem. What we're doing is different from every other part of their life. And so when they lose something, they just assume, well, of course, we'll use the safety net. That has to be there. No, it doesn't have to be there. Unless we do the effort, there won't be a safety net. And people lose enormous amounts just because they forgot their password or they lost their mnemonics or whatever. So DeRec is bigger than Hedera. This is across our industry. We have got to make it easy for you to back up your keys and your passwords and passkey information and identity information. Anything you have that is secret. Your grandmother's recipe for chocolate chip cookies. If you want to keep that secret, we can help you keep it secret. And the idea is that you have it secret, but then you share it with helpers, pieces of it with the helpers, and that if you ever lose your secret, half of them can come together and help you recover. That's the idea. We have a few little wrinkles that are incredibly important, one of which is that your device needs to go talk to their devices every day and say, hey, do you still have that piece of a secret that I gave? If they lose it, it's no big deal. I'll just go get another helper. I'll get them to I'll give it to them again. But if I didn't know they lost it, then slowly all my helpers, all my friends and family or whoever might lose what I'm giving them, and then when I finally need it, I wouldn't have it. So other people have talked about systems like this, but this one is important in that it is recoverable because you're checking every single. We're just making it easy to use, and it's being built into ledgers. It's being built into banks and credit unions. It's being built into wallets that are managing your accounts, and it can just be useful across the world. This is what we need.
So yeah, I mean, listen, this is a huge game changer for the entire industry. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that wish that this was a thing when, you know, they lost their passphrases or their passwords or whatever the case may be. There's, you know, billions of dollars in this space that's tied back to lost passphrases, passwords. And yeah, I think that this is just an incredible innovation. And it just shows you that Hedera is not sitting here prepared for price action in a week. They don't care about what happens in a month. They are building things, they're expanding, they're collaborating with the industry on, you know, certain innovations that's setting the stage for Web3 to become a much larger piece of the world for the next 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, because going all the way back to 2020 and 2021, Hedera's goal was to become a 100-year-old company. Crypto is not going anywhere. If you are concerned about the price action in the crypto market, newsflash, step back, go look at stocks, tell me how stocks are performing in the last 3 months. It's not a crypto thing. Right now, we are weathering the storm. And while we weather the storm, we must focus on projects like Hedera. We must focus on these projects that are becoming extremely strong, even though the storm is covering up the sunshine. We have to look past the storm. That way, when we get past it, we can enjoy the sun. We can enjoy the calm. And Hedera is showing us that when this market stabilizes and we start to see that uptrend form again, we are going to see HBAR leading the pack. I truly do think that everyone should be paying attention to what is happening on Hedera, from not just the wallet expansions or the USDC expansions or just the DeFi growth itself. We should be focused on everything happening on Hedera, because over the last couple weeks, we have been seeing major update after expansion after expansion. And the Hedera ecosystem right now, I couldn't be any more happier to be an HBAR holder, considering the fact that we are seeing this much growth around Hedera, even during the darkest times in this space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.